Listen closely, because what I'm about to say might sound harsh at first. But if you stick with me, you'll start to see reality for what it truly is, not what you've been told to believe. Every man, at some point in his life, tries to make a woman happy. It's almost like a rite of passage. You meet her, you fall for her, and deep down you believe that if you love her enough, protect her enough, provide enough, she'll finally relax into happiness. But what most men don't realize is that many modern women aren't built for contentment anymore. Not because they're bad or ungrateful, but because modern life has rewired their psychology to be perpetually dissatisfied. We live in an age where women are told they can be everything, have everything, feel everything, and never settle for less. Sounds empowering, right? But when you stretch human expectations to infinity, satisfaction becomes mathematically impossible. The more options you think you have, the harder it is to feel peace with what's right in front of you. And that's what's quietly destroying female happiness. A woman can have a loyal man, a stable home, loving children, a comfortable life, and still lie awake at night wondering, could I have had more? The curse of more has replaced the gift of enough. Her mother once dreamed of a faithful husband and a roof that didn't leak. She has all that, and a phone that shows her thousands of lives that seem better than hers. She scrolls through photos of other women's vacations, marriages, bodies, and lifestyles, and slowly comparison poisons her mind. She thinks she's just observing others, but in reality she's measuring herself against illusions. Every swipe whispers, "You're behind. You're missing out. You could do better." And that's why she feels restless, even when everything around her is fine. Men don't understand this because male happiness often comes from simplicity. A man doesn't need a perfect life to feel fulfilled. He needs purpose, respect, and peace. But women are conditioned to chase emotional highs. Love must feel like a movie. Success must look like a photo, and even self-love must perform well online. Their happiness gets interrupted by the constant thought that something or someone is still missing. It's not your fault, and it's not entirely hers either. It's a psychological trap she's been trained into since childhood, to believe happiness always lives just beyond the next milestone. So, no matter how much she gets, she still craves what she doesn't have. She might adore the man she's with, yet secretly compare him to the perfect image she's built in her head. She might enjoy her home, yet envy her friend's bigger one. And here's where men start to struggle. The more effort you pour into making her happy, the more her standards shift. Not because she's cruel, but because she's addicted to emotional stimulation. When peace enters the relationship, she feels bored. When consistency replaces chaos, she feels like something is missing. Men think happiness is an emotion. For many women, happiness is a performance. They chase it, dramatize it, post about it, but rarely sustain it. And if you're the man standing beside her, trying to fill holes she won't even acknowledge, you'll end up drained, confused, and invisible. You'll start asking yourself, what did I do wrong? Why isn't she happy when I've given her everything? The truth is, you didn't do anything wrong. You just walked into a psychological minefield planted by culture, media, and generations of women who were never taught that gratitude is the foundation of joy. She's not unhappy because of you. She's unhappy because she's forgotten how to feel satisfied without external validation. And that's a battle no man can win. Listen, this will make a lot of men finally exhale. Her unhappiness isn't personal. It's not about you not being enough. It's a reflection of her inner world. Most modern women live in a psychological loop where peace feels like a threat. The moment life gets quiet, her mind whispers, "Is this it?" That single question has destroyed more relationships than cheating ever could, because once she asks it, she starts scanning for flaws in you, in yourself, in the relationship, anything to justify the feeling that something is missing. And this is where most men mess up. You start fixing. She says she's bored, you plan a trip. She says you don't listen, you buy her gifts. She says she feels unseen, you pour your heart out. But here's the bitter truth. She doesn't want the solution. She wants the sensation, the emotional rush of being chased, comforted, reassured. Once you fix the problem, the story ends, and she needs a new one. That's why even when things are good, she unconsciously starts creating problems again. Not out of malice, but because emotional chaos is her oxygen. Unhappy women crave stability, but get restless inside it. They beg for affection, but lose attraction when it's given too easily. They demand honesty, then punish you for it. It's not hypocrisy, it's inner conflict. She's been taught her whole life to romanticize drama and call it passion. So when she meets a man who offers peace, her nervous system doesn't know how to handle it. Calm feels cold, maturity feels distant. And that's where men begin to break. Because your instinct is to love harder, fix faster, protect stronger. You think that if you just love her right, she'll finally be happy. But every time you succeed, she moves the goalpost. The more you chase her happiness, the less she respects you. Not because she's cruel, but because deep down, she senses you're trying to earn what should be freely given. Appreciation. Once she senses that, something shifts. She starts testing you, pulling away, nitpicking, comparing, not consciously, but to see if you'll still bend. And you will, because you love her. But here's what most men never realize. When a woman sees you've become her emotional servant, she stops seeing you as her equal. Respect dies, quietly. And without respect, attraction fades. That's why so many men wake up next to the same woman who once adored them, now cold, irritable, and distant. She'll say, "I just don't feel the spark anymore." What she really means is, "I've drained the mystery, and now I'm bored with the man who tried to save me from myself." Women don't consciously want to be unhappy, but many have been trained to mistake emotional turbulence for meaning. They crave the roller coaster because it makes them feel alive. Peace, gratitude, simplicity, those are too still, too quiet. The cruel irony is that the very things that create lasting happiness are the things modern culture taught her to despise: dependability, consistency, gratitude. She wants the fire, not realizing that the same fire burns everything it touches. The more she's loved, the more her mind begins to wander. The female psyche, untrained in gratitude, craves emotional friction. When things are stable, she misses chaos. When chaos comes, she prays for stability. It's a pendulum that never rests. Men, on the other hand, build empires on predictability. They find peace in small victories, quiet mornings, and a loving smile at the door. But for many women, that peace feels like death, because when the noise fades, they're left facing themselves. From childhood, girls are rewarded for being wanted, admired, chosen. Their sense of self forms around external attention. So when a man finally gives her unconditional love, when he stops chasing because he's already there, she starts to panic. Does he still love me? Is he bored? Have I lost my magic? Instead of facing that insecurity, she creates a crisis to reignite attention. Suddenly, the peace you built turns into tension. And here's the irony. The harder you try to make her happy, the more she associates you with exhaustion. Your love becomes a mirror, reflecting her emptiness. She looks at you and feels her own void, then projects it onto you. You've changed. You don't make me happy anymore. That's when the dynamic flips. The confident man becomes cautious. The leader becomes apologetic. You start reading self-help books, trying to understand women, when what you really need to understand is this: happiness that depends on someone else's effort will always self-destruct. You can't outgive a bottomless pit. You can't outlove someone who hasn't made peace with their own heart. Women don't lose respect because you stop loving them. They lose respect when your love turns desperate, when affection becomes strategy. She feels it instantly. That's when she pulls away, testing your edge, looking for the spark she once admired. And you, thinking it's your fault, give even more. More time, more emotion, more of yourself, until there's nothing left but resentment. And the cycle repeats. Either she leaves, chasing another high, or she stays, emotionally checked out, treating you like the ghost of a feeling she once had. In both cases, she's still unhappy. Because the battle was never between you and her. It's between her and her own untrained mind that can't recognize peace when it arrives. Here's the hardest truth a man will ever face. Most women don't want happiness. They want excitement. And excitement doesn't last. It flickers, fades, and demands renewal. That's why they trade loyal men for online attention, why they chase emotional chaos and call it chemistry. They've been conditioned to seek stimulation, not stability. Even when she finds a man who brings peace, she'll unconsciously sabotage it just to feel alive again. She'll say she misses passion,